Trustee Berger.
Here.
Trustee Garvey.
Here.
Trustee Zalick.
Here.
Trustee Geezer.
Here.
Trustee Fruzaloni. Trustee McCarthy.
Here.
Mayor Savarino.
Here. Please stand and face the flag.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There a motion to approve the minutes of our December 19, 2022 Village Board meetings.
So moved? Second.
Moved by Trustee McCarthy, seconded by Trustee Zalick. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Abstain?
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Yes.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Before we get started tonight is a very kind of a strange night. This is a night that, for me, is like torture. I mean, we have a staff that is to kill for. We have people that work really hard together as a team, and tonight is the last night for one of those people. And I would like to say to you, from me to you, all the years that we worked together, I would do anything to keep you here. You made us a better village, you made us better trustees and a mayor, and you made the staff much better, and I want to thank you for that.
I would. I would absolutely second that. You've been amazing. And with the enthusiasm you have to do your job, makes it even more amazing. And thank you for everything you've done, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck moving on. We know you will thrive. We have no doubt about that. We just hate seeing you leave.
And I know you're not going far away, and I know you're going to be right down on North Avenue in West Chicago. And the Mayor Ruben Panetta is a good friend of mine. If I had to lose you to somebody, it would be West Chicago. I mean, we have a great relationship with them, and I have a great relationship with them. So I want to, again, thank you for all that you've done. You've really made us look good, and at an easy way for us to look good. My thing with you has always been, tell me what you need, and I'll give it to you. That's the trust that I've had in you. I don't think a lot of the people in this town realize how hard you worked and how hard the staff works here. But I want them to know how hard you've worked. And with this concert series, everything we do at Town Center, the Christmas sharing, everything, you play a big part in everything that we do here. And I want to thank you.
And I concur as well. All our crazy ideas and all our demands we put on you, and all your crazy ideas and all your out-of-the-box thinking has made us better and made our events better. So whoever comes to replace you, it's going to be very big shoes to fill. But as the mayor said, we know you're going to thrive with Mayor Pineda and the folks over in West Chicago. And don't be a stranger. We'd love to see you. And I'm sure many of us will see you at some of the events in West Chicago as well.
I would like to take it a step further and declare a declaration of war against West Chicago for stealing TIA from us. You know, we just can't sit by and let this happen, so.
Never thought of that.
Yeah.
We just passed this big thing.
Chief,
Everybody
you're
takes
our
the
army,
thing.
so just so you know. Do you have any jets? But just like everyone else said, Tia, I felt like a broken record in my reports, just praising work that you've done, but you've earned that and more. Your work ethic and your creativity, your attention to detail, execution, everything is great. So West Chicago's very lucky, except for the attack that we'll be launching, and we hope to see you
We do have
around.
an airport, though, in West Chicago.
We'll think of something.
Take that out first.
Yeah, we'll think of something. Yeah, we'll just take that out first.
T,
Got
obviously,
that, Chief?
I agree with everything that's said here. The energy and the enthusiasm and the results that you get from Fall Fest to movie night to concerts, it's really, we're gonna miss you. So congratulations though, and good luck on your future endeavors.
Okay,
Well, let me pile on. To be left out. I really do have a lot of admiration, not only for you, but for the entire staff. I've only been here 2 years, but I have to concur with the mayor. I mean, the staff in this town is amazing, and you are the primary example of it. You're just exemplary in your service. So I just want to express my gratitude to you for your work. You really have set the bar high. So I don't know how anybody's going to replace you. They certainly aren't going to be able to replace you, so thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I admire you as well.
okay, with that, we go into listening post. We have our holiday house decorating contest winners, and as usual, everything okay back there? Don't run out, did she break?
That's one of the winners. I think we should declare war on Silver Leaf.
Yeah, ain't it the truth? At this time, I'll turn it over to trustee Geiser because he's handled this all.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, board members, staff, residents of Carroll Stream. Thank you for allowing me to continue doing our holiday decorating contest. We also do the Halloween decorating contest. And tonight, we have some of the winners. We announced on social media who the winners are, but we'll honor a few of the families who were able to come tonight here at the meeting. So, without further ado, why don't we, what we'll do is I'll call you up, and the board will have a chance to ask you a question or two if they'd like, and then we'll call up the next family, and then we'll take a picture with everybody after the work. Is that works well for everyone? All right. So why don't we begin with our Frosty's Favorite. That's our kid-friendly category, and the winner is 544 Mohegan Road, and that is the Zach family. The Zach family has won before in different categories, so they're here again. So come on up, and congratulations.
Nice, thank you.
Well, we thank you for doing it. If people haven't seen their home, they have these huge cutouts, which I can't believe. They're all over the yard and on the roof. I can't believe they haven't taken the roof off when the wind's coming through.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about what you've done, and you've done it for a number of years. So why don't you let us know about it?
Is that mic on?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got, we started in 1987 with our cutouts, and we got reindeer and Santa and elves and some dogs, and so we enjoy doing that. Our family loves the holidays, and we love sharing them with all of you and the community. So thank you very much for this honor and award. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any questions from the
Just
board?
hopefully you got a couple decent days to
We
take
did.
it down.
Yeah, this
I'd
time.
like to
'Cause that's
say,
some work.
It is. It's a little sad taking it down, but
yeah, that's
least,
always
you know.
fun putting it up,
Yeah.
tough taking it down.
Yeah,
I want to say
right.
thank you.
thank you.
I have a
People
question.
like you that make Carroll Stream a better place and draw a lot of outside people in just to drive around to see what we do.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question, and this goes for the other winners as well. As I've gotten slightly older, and as our kids have gotten older and moved out, I've gotten a lot lazier with our decorations, as much as I love doing it. Like, what's your motivation? What gets you out there on a cold day and doing all that, where it's a lot of work?
I just love doing it. We just love doing it. Yeah, it's just fun.
Just the answer
And the
that I
kids,
expected.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know, our kids are grown up and we have grandkids and stuff, and they all kind of expect it, so until we're to the point where we can't do it anymore and our son and grandson aren't willing to help us anymore, then, we'll
As it is
continue to
now,
do it.
I've got to get up on the roof with a parachute now. I'm not the same as I used to
Forget about the roof.
Well, congratulations, and
you.
we look forward to your decorations next year.
be. Great, thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah.
Don't leave because we're going to take a picture.
Our next winning family who are in attendance, and this is for the Big Snowball Award, and this is 490 Silverleaf Boulevard, the Ronaldo family. Come on down.
Don't be shy.
Well, I've got a story to tell about the Ronaldo family.
Don't tell it.
Well, We were judging, it was the day after a village board meeting. We usually judge on Mondays, but we had a village board meeting. And so we decided to do it on Tuesday, but it was good that we had to do it on
That's right.
Tuesday, because they sent an email to the village staff saying, our electric went all, you know.
It was horrible.
We're down, we need to be able to get the lights up. And so we drove by, I drive all the judges to pass every house, and hoping, like, don't know if they're gonna be lit, but we're gonna see, and they were lit and they loved it, so
Oh, thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you so
for
much.
participating.
Thank you
Tell us
so-
a little bit about what you did and why you did it.
There you go, Barbara.
Well, first of all, I submitted it because of him, because he's been doing this for years, and he's getting older. And it takes a lot, it takes us like 2.5, 3 weekends to do, but I love seeing it. I do it for the pure joy, and then people walking by say it looks nice and all that. So, we've been here since 1996, and I remember you, Mayor, because when we had the floods, you were so nice, you came with pizza, and all the goods and everything. So I have very fond memories of you from the floods, actually. But we do it because we love to do it. And I love lights. I love lights. I love Christmas. I do. I always go, can we get one more light one time? Can I tell you a funny story? As if you can stop me.
Turn her
What?
mic off, Mark,
No.
mic off.
One Christmas, we put everything up, this was years ago, and I went, I think it would look, can we get one more strand over there? And he goes, honey, please, we're stretching it now. I says, okay, you want to put it up? Well, of course then, he puts it up and the whole house went dim. Everything blew, because he put up one, because he put one more strand of lights that I asked him to, so that's so.
Did you
and-
tell her I told you so, though?
Oh, he better.
Smart man.
But thank you so much. I'm so excited. I said, this is off my bucket list now, because now, I don't know if this is an appropriate time, but I would like to make an application for her job. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you very much.
Every Monday, just a
Thank you, and then we'll call you up in just a moment for a
Okay,
photo.
thanks,
And
guys.
then she's not very shy, is she?
I'm Italian. How can I be shy?
Ah. And then our final family, unfortunately, were unable to attend today. They were the winners for the judge's favorite. We'll make sure to get the award to them. It is the Cone family, and they live at 1405 Appomattox Trail. So let's hear it for them. So may we have the Ronaldos and the Zacks come on up, and we'll take a picture with you? Come on up,
Oh, you got
all the way.
Oh, we get behind here?
Yeah.
Get behind.
Get behind the curtain.
We're actually wearing pants.
Congratulations.
Okay, some over on this side too. Come on.
Spread it out.
Mayor, can you come with more pizza?
Those are the worst day of my life in this, when that
It
flooded.
was horrible, wasn't
Okay.
it?
It was horrible.
But you were so, you made
You're
it
gonna
better.
take the
I'm not-
picture?
I just-
Okay.
Have you
we
been
a soft
trained?
spot in my heart.
Ready?
She's coached me through it. I'm not saying it's gonna be as good.
Okay.
Just count.
You know, I'm checking it.
Is your thumb in it?
1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1.
Where's the other
It doesn't
language?
count backwards.
It's not
What
how.
happened?
What happened to the other language comment? He always gives us a different language.
That's the next part.
I did drive around and look at them all, I just didn't put a whole lot.
And I do want to also thank the 3 residents who were judges for the competition this year, the Rudy Vanderbeest, Jim Slanker, and Rick Zwybrook. Thanks, let's hear it for them for judging the houses. So thank you very much. Thank you, Board and Mayor. And we'll see you later this year for the 2023 edition.
What, there's no Valentine's Day?
Easter.
They're out, they're gonna go out and plan their attack for next year.
They are.
Oh, they're going after West Chicago.
Thank you.
And
Don't go to West Chicago and break windows either. Okay, under listening post, we have addresses from the audience, but before we get there, do we have anything that came in over the internet?
We did receive one electronic public comment, which Village Clerk Julia has.
Madam Clerk, please.
For the Village Board meeting, public comment of January 16th, 2023, from Justin Lynch. Comment on text amendment to allow adult use cannabis. Good evening, Village trustees and Mayor Severino. I'm writing to encourage amending the proposed zoning on adult use cannabis sales to align with liquor sales in the village with a 100-foot buffer from schools and other noted places. After viewing the map of the 1,000-foot buffer and the many exclusions of retail areas currently in the village, these regulations in effect hamstring the village as a place for dispensaries. As Chief Homer noted at the Zoning Commission meeting, liquor and cannabis have entered into a similar equation from a public safety standpoint and from a security standpoint. There have been no noted issues from other dispensaries in the area. I urge the trustees to treat cannabis the same as liquor and to approve similar regulations. Thank you for your time and consideration on this. From Justin Lynch on January 16th, 2023. That's it.
Thank you very much. The next thing on the agenda then would be Jim Benson. The infamous Jim Benson.
Welcome as always.
Welcome, welcome.
My voice needs this? I don't know. Before we get started for what I came here for, Tia, for all you've done for the veterans and building the world.
How sweet. She knows she's married.
She's put up with me for how many years now?
She ain't the only one.
Yeah, I know.
We all.
We have a
Brings
list.
me to be
have a list.
here this evening. I have thought about this for a long time, and I have never really voiced it until I heard through the grapevine that the village is thinking about upgrading town center. And I have an idea that I would like to get on your agenda, is that I would like to see a playground built there. Over the years, I've seen people come to concerts and everything we do, but the kids have nothing to do. And when I'm up there by the memorial, cleaning it up or whatever, I see parents with their kids and they're climbing on the memorial, they're going and getting in trouble over at the fountain. And when I brought it up to other people, I didn't have one person say that it was a bad idea. I had a lot of support from families and their kids. And then I did some research, and I talked to Jim Reuter, and I said, what does it cost to build the playground? And he says, for that one, a nice one, probably around $200,000. And I went, whoa. I said, well, hopefully you guys get some money from the government, and you can help build it. But also, you guys work so nice with each other, the Park District and the village, that maybe you guys could work together nice to have a playground built there. I've heard some of the things that you guys want to do to upgrade it, but I think a playground would definitely benefit the whole community, the families and their kids. And I think town center is supposed to be a place where the town goes to do something other than just concerts. And perhaps with the playground, more parents would come with their kids and it'd be a better place for the kids to go when concerts are going on or whatever. So I am here this evening to ask you guys to support this idea. I'm not sure what direction I have to go, if I have to get a petition or if I have to come here every week. And I know you want to avoid that. But I've gone around and looked at other playgrounds, and I just think it would be a nice idea. So I don't know what your process is and what you're doing with this, other than thinking about it at the moment, trying to collect funds to fix the sound system or put another toilet in or whatever. But I think a playground would be used all year round, and I think it's something that the community would like. And I think it would be something that would be used throughout the year. So that's why I'm here. So what do I do next? It could be my new pet project.
This is actually a listening post.
Thinking now, I mean, now I'm all excited. I mean, really, I mean, I never gave it a thought.
Well, like I said, I've been there enough times over the last few years, thanks to Tia letting me sit there and talk to people and watching kids. And when I saw her do was it the Fall Festival? And they had all the toys or the blow-ups and stuff, I said, we don't have anything here to draw them during the year. And I think a nice playground would do it. I think it would be used. I
have a
think it'd be a good use of money.
How much did it cost to do the memorial?
$230,000.
How hard was it to raise that money?
Without any grants or money from the government or anything like that?
How many years?
4.5.
4.5.
Oh, I'm still collecting money.
Well, and we're still selling bricks.
You got 200 grand?
Like I said, when Jim Reuter and I talked, and like I said, you guys worked together for the memorial, I says, and she says, Jim, I go, I'm just putting it out there, okay? You guys played nice with each other. Maybe there's money from both sides. Maybe there's a grant out there. Maybe COVID funds are hiding in a safe someplace. I don't know. It was an idea. You guys were talking about upgrading it. I think a playground would be better than an extra toilet. But that's just me. And I'm going all the time now, trust me.
Another toilet, and I mean, that I'm lost. I mean, where you got that from? I mean, what we're.
Oh, no, people talk.
We're fixing the second largest fountain in the state of Illinois.
I heard that.
We had to put money in it because we really hadn't spent a lot of money, and it wasn't built the way it should have been built, and it cost us a lot of money. We actually shut it last year because we didn't have the money.
Right.
And now we'll finish it, hopefully we'll get it finished in April or May, so we could turn it on for the summer.
Well, that's why I said, do I need to help raise some money? Do I look for some grants? How do I go about, what would be my next step?
Well-
Because I think a playground is something that should be there.
I think you took the first step, and then we'll have to take the next
We'll
step.
talk with
Okay.
staff. Yeah.
And then-
Anybody here not in favor of a playground?
Wait a second, and
There you
before
go.
you answer, is everybody in favor of your taxes going up?
Sure, if it gives me a playground.
That I have. I mean, you know what I worry about there? I worry about what you just said with the kids. The only place you could put that would make any sense would be behind, where we have, when you do the special thing and we put all the stuff up. Not in a bowl, because we're not gonna
Right.
quit doing concerts.
No, over on that side over there.
And there's a lot of water back there on both sides. So you leave the kids back there while you're watching the music and you can't hear anything. That's very dangerous. So then do we have to put up a fence to kind of keep the kid? We gotta, see, all those things, we think about all that stuff.
Oh, trust me, when we got in this memorial, I heard about things I never even thought
The
about.
viability
I
of
mean,
it.
really, I mean,
and
we
the-
started at 170,000 and went to 230,000. I mean, we ended up, and it should be, where it should be right now,
Yep.
drive down Thunderbird and tell me it should be there. There ain't enough room for 3 people to walk through there. We knew that wasn't gonna work. I mean,
And it looks, oh, by the way, as an update, we're almost done with it. We put in the last set of trees. We had a man come out this weekend to give us ideas for signs. And the sign is the last thing that goes up, and we'll be done with it.
wonderful.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm here for. You know where to find me.
We do.
Anything I can do to help, just let me know. I have people that will help me get it done, because there are people out there who want to get it done. And I know there's all kinds of particulars, but it's out there now. Okay? Okay, thank you.
Did Jim Reuter say he'd be willing to put 100,000 in there?
Jim Reuter only told me that it would cost $200,000. Now, if you guys work out when we build a memorial, it was Park District, then all of a sudden the village, and the two of you guys got together and you got a beautiful memorial. You put the two of you guys together again, we'll have a beautiful playground.
If you remember, we wouldn't put it on Thunderbird because that wasn't gonna be sufficient for what you guys have given up in your life.
Right?
And we would put that on that little I hate to take that away from anybody, but it's where it belongs. And
Yep.
we all knew that when we said that's where it should go. So we were willing to invest our own money, not the village's money, our
Right.
own money.
It was all, pretty much, all by the way, there'll be a story about, talking about community support. There'll be a story in the Examiner, probably Wednesday, about Sowers Bakery, Tony Steamers, that over the years, they have a jar in front of their thing. Over $20,000 has been thrown in that jar since 2014 to help us, to help veterans. So the community, if they want it, they'll come out and help us do it. But again, I just don't know which way to go with it, you know, I wouldn't know the particulars or how to do it. I dropped it in the Park District and you guys, because it's in your property over there, but the Park District helped out with this, so you guys work it out, that's what.
Thank you for the idea, and we'll take it from here.
I'll take the idea to you, and that'll be it.
Just bring the dollar amounts too. So
Well, like I said,
that's important.
I'll do whatever I can with whatever time I have, and like you said, when I see kids, I think they should have fun.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good luck to you.
Mr. Rhodes, do we have anything else back there? Any other? Nothing else. Okay, well, with that, I guess we should probably get started here. Is there a motion to establish a consent agenda?
So moved?
Second.
Moved by trustee Geezer, seconded by trustee McCarthy. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read what is on the consent agenda?
Certainly. Board and Commission reports, Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals, Village of Carroll Stream, text amendment to allow adult-use cannabis dispensaries as a special use in the B3 district. Recommended approval with modifications 6-0.
Off.
Who called off? Rick?
Has been pulled off by trustee Geezer. Staff reports and recommendations. Presentation on Phase 2 of PWC improvements.
I guess that'd be off for a
That'll be
presentation.
Pulled off for later, okay. Amendment to the village manager's employment contract to lower his life insurance amount from 2 times his annual salary to $50,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of a contract in the amount of $30,000 with Pyrotechnico Fireworks, Inc., subject to Chapter 5, Article 8, Sections 5-8-14A and B of the Village of Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 16 of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances, adult-use cannabis dispensaries as a special use in the B3 district.
Off.
That's off, yeah.
Has been pulled.
That would have to be off.
Ordinance amending Chapter 11 intoxicating liquor, Article 2, alcoholic liquor dealers of the Village of Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances in regards to the sale of alcoholic liquor at gas stations.
Yes.
Yes.
Off.
That has been pulled off. by
Trustee Garvey?
All right. Resolutions. Resolution to endorse the Legislative Action Program of the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference for the 2023 legislative session.
Yes.
Yes.
That is Resolution Number 3288. Resolution appointing a delegate and alternate delegate to the Intergovernmental Risk Management Agency.
Yes.
Yes.
That is Resolution Number 3289. Resolution authorizing execution of a financial reimbursement intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Carroll Stream and Bloomingdale Township for mosquito abatement services through 2026.
Yes.
Yes.
That is Resolution Number 3290. Resolution declaring surplus property, 6 designated public works vehicles, and authorization to dispose of them by auction.
Yes.
Yes.
That is Resolution Number 3291. New business, proposed 2023 Summer Concert Series lineup. Staff requests direction from the Village Board regarding the 2023 Summer Concert Series lineup.
Yes.
Yes.
Proposed 2023 Fall Fest entertainment. Staff requests direction from the Village Board regarding the 2023 Fall Fest entertainment.
Yes.
Yes. Looks like a great setup.
Oh, did you say no?
No, I said yes.
Approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond, and approval of an amplification permit with a waiver of the application fee for the 2023 Summer Concert Series, Movie in the Park, Geek Fest, Fall Fest, and holiday tree lighting.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond to the Medina Shriners for their raffle to be held at American Legion Post 76 on February 19th, 2023.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond to American Cancer Society for their Bags for Life tournament to be held at Chrissy's on February 15th, 2023 through March 15th, 2023.
Yes.
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 Approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond to Carroll Stream Rotary Club for their Ultimate Golf Raffle to be held at the Carroll Stream Holiday Inn on February 9th, 2023.
Yes.
Yes.
Payment of bills. Regular bills, December 20th, 2022 through January 3rd, 2023.
Yes.
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 Addendum warrants, December 20th, 2022 through January 3rd, 2023.
Yes.
Yes.
Regular bills, January 4th, 2023 through January 16th, 2023.
Yes.
Addendum warrants, January 4th, 2023 through January 16th, 2023.
Yes.
Yes.
More treasurer's report, revenue expenditure statements and balance sheet for the month ended December 31st, 2022.
Received.
Received.
Okay, that concludes the items on the consent agenda.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to put those items on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Moved by trustee Berger, seconded by trustee Garvey. Clerk, call a roll, please.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Giesser.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve those items by omnibus vote?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Zalick. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Giesser.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. The two asking for direction, I think the
Yeah.
message was we liked it as it
Yes.
sits. Okay.
My understanding was.
Okay, so the first one that was off is trustee Garvey? No, that's the other one.
No, that's the,
Okay, I got it, B1, and that was trustee Giesser.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to say that I think we should allow this at the same as alcohol. It's legal, it's for adult use only, it's highly regulated, there's lots of security, and I would, unless anybody else has something to say right now, I would, okay?
So you're done for now?
I'm done.
Okay.
I actually ran into one of the planning commissioners at a different function, not knowing that we were going to be there. And it was mentioned about the vote, and that they moved it to 1,000 feet instead of 100. And I asked why. And that individual said, well, what if a stoner exits and walks across the street into a school playground and provides the kids with the stuff? And I'm like, well, first off, I don't know if any of them, I'd be curious if any of them have observed in front of a dispensary on who goes in and goes out of the dispensary. It's not the Spicoli, that is failing grades and so forth. It's upstanding citizens, business owners, doctors, lawyers. I should know, I work there. I've asked people, so, what do you do? You're wearing a smock. Oh, I'm a veterinarian, So there are some upstanding citizens that are stoners. But like I said, and I said, if you think that someone is going to spend that much money because of taxes, that they're just going to give that stuff away, I find that hard to believe, because the people aren't there to just spend money and give it to somebody else. And I even asked him, I said, even if there is that person with the malicious thoughts of doing that, is 900 feet going to matter? Is 900 feet going to matter? And he says, no. So I was just kind of like, okay, fair enough. But again, and a lot of the thought, the misconceptions, that, you look at liquor stores, they have clear glass. You don't need an ID to go in. You need an ID to purchase. So somebody, let's just say the worker is in the back stockroom and a kid walks in, and no one sees him, he can take a bottle of booze. No ID, no nothing. In a dispensary, it's regulated and there are safeguards in place, frosted windows. You cannot gain entry into the main store without a photo ID. And so I just feel with the ID check, security, that it's actually safer than a liquor store. And I too believe that it should be 100 feet and not 1,000 feet.
I'd like to piggyback off of that. In the last meeting where we discussed this, we had a industry expert, Samuel Smith, and his wife Dana. And I should point out, they're not experts from using the product a lot. They're experts in their work field and are very knowledgeable about the industry. And he spoke about the safety and the regulations, and that a dispensary is safer than your pharmacy. It's safer than a liquor store, and it's certainly safer than a smoke and vape shop. You know, so I too am perfectly comfortable. I don't think it matters if you have 100 feet or 1,000 feet between anything. With something that is that secure, I have no problem with 100 feet.
Anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I attended the Planning Commission meeting when they discussed this, and I spoke before them, as you can read in the notes, the minutes from their meeting. And my purpose in attending was to bring to their remembrance, at least, that the village board had decided against having the referendum, to hear what the community had to say about it. But I recognize also that the Plan Commission is one of the few commissions in town that also requires residency in the town. So I brought to their remembrance that they're going to be the referendum for the village of Carroll Stream. Now, they voted 6-0 to allow this to go forward. But what they did do, without any prompting, certainly from me at least, they decided that 100 feet wasn't enough, was too close. They had a discussion amongst them, and they voted 6-0 on that specific item, that they wanted to expand it, that they're not comfortable with it. And they had several reasons for it. But at least you should be able to not minimize their perspective on it, because they are residents of this town, just like we are. And their point of view was 100 feet is too close. And it wasn't by prompting by anybody that attended either. So I think we should pay specific attention to that. They voted 6-0 on that. I think they took a separate vote just on that, as a matter of fact. Not just the approval of the cannabis change in ordinances, but expanding it to 1,000 feet. I'll add to that, I'm still dismayed that the board is willing to go forward on this strictly based on the money factor of it, because I think that's already been admitted in our previous discussions about this. We don't need the money, and it's still a Schedule I drug, and all the other things that I've already made, that I've already spoken about at this board meeting, at the previous board meetings. So I'm still dismayed that we're willing to go forward on this. I want to know what's our limits? I mean, we've already brought video gambling into town. We've got a property tax now. Now we're going to expand the availability of cannabis dispensaries in town. And everybody's admitted it's strictly for the money.
And we also expanded gaming to the 6th machine. It was 5 machines originally, and we expanded it to 6, so we did that.
The last meeting?
No, years ago.
We also expanded to have more, I won't call them video cafes, but more, as long as they serve a regular menu for food,
Right.
we're allowed to let in, I don't know how many, 5 or 6.
Okay. Finished yet.
We're not talking about gaming, no, we're talking about cannabis.
No, but I'm trying to give a little more perspective on this, a higher level, 50,000-foot look at it. In the last couple of years, or at least since this board has been together, the property tax has been added, video gambling has been added, and now we're going to expand the possibility of cannabis dispensaries strictly to bring money in as revenue. 5 years ago, I can't imagine this town doing this stuff. And now, it's okay. It's like, why don't we just go for a casino? I mean, what's our limits? So, anyway, I'm against the 100 feet, and frankly, I'm still against 1,000 feet. But at least that would reduce the possibilities of,
So you'd go along with it at 1,000 feet?
no, I'm still against it.
Okay.
But I mean,
I want to make sure, because I want to get everybody's perspective here.
Well, and I guess I would like to add to mine. Majority of our voters voted for Pritzker, who, that was his platform, was to legalize it. So 5 years ago, this would have been, if it was illegal still, there was no way we would open up a store, because it's illegal. It's illegal. But Pritzker made it legal, and now it's legal. You might not agree with it, and you might be against your beliefs, but it's legal business. And during our property tax, I believe there was a resident here that said, you know, are you gonna keep raising our taxes every year? You know, you better look at every avenue for income, for revenue, before raising our taxes. I believe it was a female. And so, yeah, I think it's our right, I think it's our fiduciary, to look into every legal business that would give revenue to the village. And 5 years ago, this was a moot point because it wasn't legal.
okay, I think it's misleading to say just because Pritzker was voted in, that everything he was in favor of, that everybody's in favor of. There's a lot of people that
True,
voted
but
for it.
that was his main platform, was legalizing
Well, it
marijuana.
was an element of his platform, but
Pretty big
it
one.
doesn't mean that everybody voted for it.
Okay,
But,
So maybe if some of them were voting against the Republican too.
sure.
true,
I mean,
but,
people vote for the one who's least objectionable.
but you bring up about the money. Well, it wouldn't have been about the money had it not been approved on our doorstep. As soon as it could move in across the street, well, then, yeah, we might as well approve it, because we're still gonna, our cops are gonna have to somewhat be around, you know, if somebody's leaving or whatever. Any of the social arguments anybody wants to use, that the social cost that will far outweigh the financial, okay? And we've heard that a number of times. Well, in that case, well, we might as well at least get some of the financial, because we're gonna get it, the social side of it either way. If it moves in across the street in an unincorporated area, guess who's buying it? Everybody the majority from town. I was against it back before it started getting approved all the way around. You say we don't need the money right now. You're right.
I didn't say it, you said it, you admitted to it when I asked you the question at the last board meeting.
Yeah. You said
We
it a
need the
few
money,
minutes
is there anything that's on
Yeah,
our budget? that
but
we
so, I'm
haven't
just saying what you
decided
just said right now. I'm not disagreeing with that.
yet? Okay.
But we may in 5 years. If we keep saying, no, we're not gonna do this, and then all of a sudden we raise property tax, people are gonna be saying, well, why didn't you approve things that were legal, that you could have generated tax dollars from? You know, just because we generate tax, if one even comes, remember, all we're doing is approving. We're not approving one to be here, we're approving that they can come here. There's not one standing in line right now saying we wanna build here, or we wanna come in. But if they do, that doesn't mean if we start getting tax money that we should spend it tomorrow. You know, this building right here, it was on our books since 2003. And then we saved for it, and then built it. Well, that's probably part of what that money would go towards, saying, well, we know in 15 years, we're gonna need to spend $30 million on this project, or 20 on this. Well, you start actually earmarking money towards it now, and so we don't have to take on debt. We don't have debt. We have one small loan left from the Water Commission, from IEPA, right?
Yep.
That's it. Besides that, we have no debt. Why have we done these things? Why did we increase video gaming? Most of us don't even play the video gaming. We approved it because it brought in revenue that we could put towards those large projects, especially that were 50-plus years old, that our infrastructure is going to continually need major improvements and upgrades as we go forward. You know, it's not gonna get cheaper, and unfortunately, we all know that. And then employee costs, they're not getting cheaper. The insurance for employees, it's not getting cheaper. We gotta take this into account now for later on. If we wait till later on, we're already behind the 8 ball, and then we're either doing a major increase of something, or we're taking on debt. So, since it's legal, again, I'm not a big fan of it, but since it's legal, as trustee Zalik said, you know, when they said it's our fiscal responsibility to make sure that we look at all avenues as opposed to knocking on all of our residents' doors saying, we need more money. Before, I did. I'm one of the ones who tried to control it to the point of they couldn't open. Things have changed. The county opens up the door to all unincorporated areas, and we have a number of areas that is right for that, literally across the street from us. So, I may not like it, but we might as well approve it and actually have a chance at some of those dollars as opposed to going straight out to everybody else.
So if I can summarize then, if it's legal, we can do it. There's no other prohibitions that we'll have on our conscience that would disallow it from coming into our community. Is that what you're saying?
What prohibitions would, what conscience, it's been proven, it's no worse than alcohol. And if you read some things, it's less damaging than alcohol.
Well,
For an adult. I don't want anybody to throw in the, well, a teenager, this or that. This is not for somebody under 21.
well, if I understand what you're saying then, if it's legal in Illinois, we're going to go forward with it.
We're gonna look at it.
So we
We're gonna look at
We
it.
should pursue casinos,
We
gun
tried-
shops.
We can't.
We can't get a casino.
We can't get a casino.
That was our idea when Ross was still here, but that didn't fly.
Well, that's
There's no
only
place to
because
put
they've
it.
only allowed so many licenses.
Same with
The
cannabis.
state could still change licenses, and then we'd go after that,
Well-
because it's legal.
Somebody, you brought up video poker, gambling. Bob, you remember when we put the first machines came in Carroll Stream? How many years ago was that?
10, 12 years.
12 years?
12,
10 or 12?
2012, yeah.
Have we ever had a, like, I hate to ask the chief because he wasn't here 12 years ago, but I can sit here and tell you, to my knowledge, we've never had a problem in 12 years.
I was on the job.
Oh, that's right, trustee Zales,
And-
police officer.
We've never, that I know of, because we all go through roll calls where, you know, if we were off, we go through the 3 days before, so we're all up to speed as to what happened on our days off. And I can't think of one time where there was an issue with gambling,
I
the
wanted-
video
I
in
brought
the
that up,
bars.
being it was brought up, only to try and get something clear here. I was the one that pushed for video poker, because I was pushed by our restaurants. And the board all was willing to go along with that, and today, if you follow the news and read the newspapers and follow the news at night, the most suffering of all industries is the food business, restaurants. Without the gaming in some of those restaurants, they wouldn't be here. And some of those people, and I won't mention names, the bigger restaurants hire 30, 40, 50 people. They might have 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, 20, 30 women that are divorced, that raise their kids and need that extra money. I mean, that's why it was done. All the restaurants in this town, other than not being able to get people, are the ones that put gaming in, are all doing very well. Finding people to work there is still very hard to do. But gaming's never been a problem. That's not and I am in out of every place because license is mine to make sure that they do the right thing with it. And we work close with the police department with that and community development. So, I mean, I don't, bringing up gambling, I mean, we knocked 5 massage parlors out that was performing prostitution things. We don't, and I'm gonna bring it up because, I mean, nobody says, well, you should, we did it because we knew it was the wrong thing to do and we don't want it in our town. Our police department jumped on it as soon as we got the first lead, right on it. Right now, we're working on tobacco problems. A lot more people dying of smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol than even shooting each other. I mean, but we look at things different than everybody else. We all have something we want to champion, you know, and we all have our own personal feelings. If you remember, the vote was 3-3, and I broke the vote and said, no, I didn't want it there. That's back then. And the 3 was Matt McCarthy. Now, one of the things Matt said, and I'm not taking sides with anybody, it is on our doorstep, the license has been granted, and Old North Pancake House on North Avenue right now is being developed, and it would have been opened already, but I guess they didn't follow some of the rules from the county. The county that approved it is gonna put one right in our backyard at Old North Pancake House. And that's exactly what we were afraid would happen, what trustee Zalick was afraid of, trustee Keiser was afraid of, trustee everybody was afraid of it. It's there. It's there right now. It's going in, they're putting it in place. And as soon as they finish up, we'll have cannabis on our doorstep. And anybody that wants to go buy the drugs there can go there and get them. And then they can come back and smoke them or whatever you do with them. I don't know. I don't use drugs, so to me, the worst thing in the world, it's a scourge as far as I'm concerned. But that doesn't mean, I don't drink either, but I don't tell people they can't drink. You want to drink and ruin your life, that's your business. I don't say nothing. But I mean, there's things that happen that we do, and, you know, keeping the taxes down is important to people that can't even buy food in this town. I mean, we saw that this year with the food drive is coming up with Christmas sharing. We had more people than we ever had that needed food, kids that needed toys. I mean, and we had, Mr. Benson comes, he needs $200,000 to build a park. All of those things are stuff that everybody expects us just to pull the money out and just do it. It comes from, in many cases, and trustee Zalick said it, I follow those numbers. The governor won this area based on abortion that he wanted and cannabis. Those were the two major things that people voted for. And what did he get? 56% of the vote?
49% versus 42 for Rauner.
49 versus 42. So when he says people in this area want it, I suggested the night we were all, everybody was arguing with each other, I'm not used to that and I don't like it. So my suggestion was that we put a referendum out. Well, everybody, including our attorney, said that's not really a good idea. Bob didn't think it was a good idea, and I didn't think it was a good idea, to be honest with you. But I said it because I didn't want to see us argue with each other. I would rather have let the people just go ahead and make the decision, but I wouldn't bet money that they wouldn't say yes, especially after the way what I'm hearing here and people coming in. And I hate to say it, but I think there'll be a time where anybody that's really sick, that might be the last resort to kill the pain rather than taking opioids, which is killing everybody anyway. So I don't know. I'm not for it or against it. I mean, trustee McCarthy, are you for the 100 or the 1,000 feet?
I will fall in the majority, and as I said, I tend to believe it's the same as liquor. So we should follow the same laws.
Okay, so that's a 100 foot. So we have 400 feet?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to, if we can, just go ahead and make a motion that we approve 1A with the one change of changing the buffer from 1,000 feet to 100 feet.
Can I ask one question real quick?
Sure.
Actually, it's to Bob.
Yes.
If somebody wants to open one, they still got to go through planning and through us, correct?
Correct.
So I mean, even though we approve it here, us or future boards have the choice to still say no on a specific one based on where they want to build or what they want to do or how they want to do it.
They would have to meet building and zoning codes.
Codes,
Yep.
okay. All right, sorry for interrupting your motion.
I finished the
I
motion.
second the motion.
So the motion was made by trustee Berger, seconded by trustee Geiser. That good? Mr.
Yes.
Roll call?
Okay. Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Oh,
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geiser.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Now, Attorney Rhodes, would that be ordinance 2023-01-01 then?
So that's to amend what we have. So now the ordinance that's before you is the amendment with the 100, so then we just need another motion to approve it as it was amended.
So moved?
I'll second it.
Yeah.
So was trustee McCarthy moved?
Berger.
Berger. Trustee Berger moved, and, I'm sorry, who's second?
Trustee Geiser.
Okay, second. And trustee Berger. Roll call.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
No.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Giesser.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
And that is ordinance number 2023-01-01.
Correct.
Before we go on to the next one with the alcohol, I see I have a couple of the Planning Commission members in the back. I want to thank you for what you do, you know, not because you're sitting there. All of you are special. Most of you were appointed by me. I know you put your heart and soul in really what you really think is good for this community. Don't let this dishearten you. Don't let this change any way that you think in the future about, I think this, I've been up here for almost 16 years as the mayor. I don't know if we've ever had more than, this might be the second or the third time that we even questioned anything that came from the Planning Commission. So, but you did what you thought was the right thing to do, and I respect that. I want you to know that. Okay, so now we get into the other one. That's, what is that, alcohol?
Yes.
Off by trustee Garvey?
Yeah. Well, we're entering into some discussions here before the meeting, and I just want to discuss it before we vote on it, that's all.
Okay, well,
So,
Go
wait a
ahead.
second.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh.
I did, I interrupted him.
Oh,
I
go ahead.
apologize.
I don't want you to interrupt.
I
Did you?
just wanted discussion on it.
Oh, okay, well, you can start then.
Actually, the one thing I would throw in there, and it's kind of a back and forth thing, but we've got you can't sell a single can of beer, if this is passed as it is.
Correct, that's the way the current ordinance states, yes.
So, but I mean, if we were to,
To amend it,
right, we can leave the no single cans,
you can, yes, you can leave it as is.
and we could add no airplane bottles of spirits.
You can amend what's in the packet, yes, to
Because,
restrict that.
as much as,
I'm sorry. What good does that do?
well, it's a discussion, it's a question. Because I'm kind of back and forth on the little, you know, I'm talking about the little teeny bottles.
Yeah, I know.
But at the same time, you're not wrong, what good does it do? You can buy one this big and do the same thing. But the convenience store, and this is where I actually agree with approving it, is the convenience store, one building down can sell all of it. But if you're a convenience store that happens to have gas, you can't. It doesn't make sense. We're all adults, or we're supposed to be, and the majority of us are.
Well, the single can of beer never made any sense to me because you can buy a six-pack and grab a can and sit in the car.
Right.
And I hope you do, and I hope our cops catch you because we'd like to find them. So, I mean, we are tough on drunk, so, I mean.
Absolutely,
it's-
100%.
And as far as the small bottle, you can buy the small bottle, you can buy whatever, a half a pint or whatever it is, put that in your back pocket.
Do the
and
same
while you're
thing.
Do the same thing. So-
True.
And again, I brought this in, we have a couple of people in the back that have become they're very good business people, and they asked me, and that was why I brought it before the board. They own the BP gas station on North Avenue in Gary, and they have struggled through the years. They took that station over when there was going to be a restaurant that I didn't think would work. You remember that, Bob? They took us to a restaurant in Elk Grove to look at what a restaurant inside a gas station that has no parking. That's one of the problems that they have. They have no parking and no drive-through. They can't do anything. They're landlocked, basically, on that corner. So for them to survive, everything that they could with that square footage is important to them. And that is exactly the way they brought it up to me, and that's why I brought it to the board and brought it to the staff and asked if there would be a problem. I mean, there's not one thing that they want to put in there that anybody can't go in any convenience store and buy. It's not saying they're recreating something new. If you look back at when we approved alcohol for gas stations, we had corners that were desolate. They were empty. Community development worked real hard with Buc-ee's. We had a lot of property redeveloped by Richard, I think his name was, from Buc-ee's. And the condition that he came in here with was, when we first met with him, if I can't have alcohol, I don't want it. And when we talked about it, it made sense, because every convenience store sells alcohol. They sell beer, they sell the small cans, they sell all that. So we fill your tank and go across the street and get your liquor. How much sense does that make? Well, you made it clear. I mean, didn't make any sense. I mean, really. So we said, let's go ahead and do it. And they've developed that corner, and everybody knows besides that, we have a gas tax. We make a few pennies every time a gallon of gas is sold. So the more gas stations we have, the more money we make. I mean, it's kind of a thing that we've done. We're always looking to raise and generate more money.
Yep.
I mean, we were one of, not a lot of towns raised their taxes this year, but a lot of towns raised their taxes this year. We didn't raise our taxes. And I don't think we'd have to raise them for the next 2, 3, 4 years. But like somebody said, down the road, 4 or 5 years from now, how much we just spend on bike pets? We don't get all that money from the government. We have to put up a percentage to get it. The stream bank stabilization, all of that costs us something for money. The fountains, what, $1 million? Is that what the cost is to get
Close to
the
$1
$1
million.
million? The town center that was just talked about that everybody should go to? It's going to $1 million to fix that fountain. I mean, there's no money from the government for that. That comes out of what we have.
There's not a fountain grant?
No, there's no fountain grant. I wish there was. You raise.
Won't taste good.
We'll raise 100,000. But I mean, it's what the world we live in today. And it's hard to accept this world sometimes. This isn't my world. I mean, but it is what it is, and we have to try and make the very best out of it. So with that, I said my piece on alcohol. I want you to know I got 2 people in the back. If you have any questions and want to ask them, would it make their life easier? Would you like to come up? Would you? Please. Come on, you talk my ear off every time I come in there for gas and whatever. Thank you for coming in. And I wasn't sure how this would go. That's why I want you to meet someone that is an owner of a business, a small business that struggles like the rest of us do.
Hi, my name is Susie, and I'm from BP at the North and Gary corner. And we just try to increase the revenue for business and for city too. So if we have a liquor in the store, we might have the more traffic for the gas. And we have a 2 pennies per liquor too for the city tax. So the city can get the more for the liquor too.
Well, I mean, if they're going to fill their tank and go in and buy lottery tickets or get a sandwich, and they want to buy a 6-pack of beer, or a can of beer or a bottle of alcohol, basically, because you sell beer. They want to buy a quart or a bottle of wine, you can sell it to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought when you made a lot of sense when you told me what you wanted to do. And I look at your place, and you're probably one of the most unique gas stations because you got all that dead space on that side that was going to be a restaurant that they thought should have been a restaurant, should have never been.
It's not work, yeah. We spend a
7-Eleven
lot
just
of money,
went
but
through
it's
it.
not work, right?
7-Eleven just went through it on the other end of town, where they put this big Mexican restaurant in there, and it failed poorly. Just the same way, the day we were in there, I said, that thing won't be open 6 months from now. People do not go to a gas station to just get food like that. Like, honey, let's go to the BP and have dinner. That doesn't work. I mean, my wife would get rid of me. You'd rather go to Portillo's or go to one of our local restaurants to eat, even if it's Culver's, which is a great restaurant. But I mean, so thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. So this is something that's very important to you as a small business.
Yes.
If I could just piggyback off of that, I just want to say, I think this is just strictly a fairness in business question. Doesn't have a gas station, can sell whatever they want, has a gas pump, they can't. Just, it's not a fair business practice, so I'm fully in favor of this.
We talked about raising the fee. That will move up to what a convenience store is. They pay less now. They'll pay more to get that type of license.
Yeah.
And they will be the first ones to get that type of license in the gas station,
So-
if we pass that.
So what do we need, a motion?
Well, ironically,
Oh, wait a second.
yeah, hold on. Ironically, I was doing research for my report, and on this day in 1919, the 18th Amendment was ratified, which prohibits the sale and transportation of alcoholic liquor, beverages. It has since gone away, but I too believe that this should pass. So we're talking about no single cans of beer, but hard liquor, including the airport size testers should be allowed. gas stations, correct?
That's the way it reads right now. The provision on single-sale cans of beer is an existing provision that was in there when the original gasoline station
Got it.
was passed. So that was just carried over. So if you want to add the travel, then you have to add that. But
No, I,
this provision on single-serve has been there for, ever since the village started allowing gas stations to sell alcohol.
okay.
Okay, so I need clarification. So this ordinance then allows gas stations to sell hard liquor? They already could sell beer and wine.
Correct.
Okay, so the only question then for discussion, at least for me, is the size then. If we're not going to allow single cans of beer, like a 20 ounce, and we allow the little 1.5 ounce deals to be sold for hard liquor, wouldn't the argument be made, well, wait a minute, why, if you can have the small one-shot deal, why can't I have a 20 ounce?
Well, that's really what I
Individual.
thought was gonna happen. We were gonna approve both of them, to be honest with you, where they could buy a single can of beer and buy the small one if they want. We're gonna do the alcohol,
There's-
what difference does it make?
You going to make the motion, trustee Garvey?
No, well, what's the, excuse me?
I asked if you were going to make that motion.
Or make a motion.
No, I'm not going to make a motion. Now that I understand, is there two ordinances in front of us?
No.
Okay.
I think he was asking if you wanted to make a motion to change it.
No.
We're still in discussion, I think.
Yeah. I think you're just saying that there's.
He's saying if they can't have a single can of beer, why should we do the 1 ounce
Right,
testers
or
whatever?
do it both.
Or, right.
No, the argument would be made, why can't I sell 20 ounce cans of beer? It's a single serving,
Right.
when you can't, when we're going to allow them to sell 1.5 ounces.
Right.
So, but I don't think the ordinance reads what I understand the mayor to ask. Why don't we just allow single cans of beer too? It doesn't allow that.
No, there'd have to be an amendment for that.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so where are we?
I would say we make I would like to make a motion that we approve it as written. But if we would like to add an amendment, would we have to do that at this time or do that additionally?
Probably need to do it the same as you did for cannabis. You would
Yes.
need to make a motion to approve the ordinance that's on the agenda and then make a motion to amend it.
If there's a question about selling single-serve, whatever it is, and there's a question as to whether or not it ought to be for gas stations or convenience stores, or yes or no, you can deal with it tonight, or you can deal with it at a different time. But in terms of this ordinance, what it does is it just creates the Class PL license, which is the P gasoline and includes liquor. So someone can come in and make a request for a liquor license for a gas station that sells just beer and wine, or they can come in and they can request the other license, which is the PL, which would allow them to sell all liquor. But in either case, the way it's written, single-serve beer can't be served, can't be served.
I'd almost rather make a motion to approve this, except remove the single beer. It does seem kind of, so it would be allowed to sell.
I don't have a problem with that. If we're allowed to sell single-serve
Yes.
spirits. Is that doable, Counselor?
Yes, then you would have to make the motion to amend this ordinance that's presented to you to remove the two provisions in M1 and M2 that prohibit the sale of single servings.
Then that would
That's
be my
what,
motion.
yeah, that was the
That
motion.
would be my motion.
You're earning your money tonight.
Yeah, then that would be.
About time.
That would be my motion.
Okay, so trustee Geezer wants to amend the ordinance to say we could sell single cans of beer and small bottles of alcohol.
Yes.
Okay,
Second that.
and seconded by trustee McCarthy.
Okay, so trustee Berger,
Aye.
trustee Garvey,
Aye.
trustee Zalick,
Aye.
trustee Geezer,
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy?
Aye.
So that motion passes as ordinance number 2023-01-02.
Not yet,
Not yet?
no.
So that's, okay.
So the ordinance has been amended, and now you have to approve the ordinance as amended.
I'll make the motion to
Step
approve the
process.
ordinance as amended.
Seconded by trustee Berger.
Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
So that motion passes as ordinance number 2023-01-02.
Yes.
Now what?
Now you.
Presentation.
Now you have a presentation.
Okay.
Oh, sleeping back there. He was nodding off, waiting for us.
Phil, I got to tell you, I'm sorry. I mean,
Laptop fell asleep.
Monaf, come on down.
boy, he's bringing a big gun with the computer. Look at this.
Thank you, Mark. You got it. So in your packets is a fairly detailed presentation of what it is we're recommending tonight. What I'll go through on the PowerPoint is much less detailed, but should capture the nature of what it is we're asking for. I'm going to attempt to use a laser pointer here to start to familiarize this group with our campus. Starting from the right, over here, is what we call the North Barn. Down here is our main entrance off of Drzewski. And then here is our administration building. The north half of this building is our mechanics garage, our water sewer garage, and what we call our south barn over here. That's mostly vehicle and equipment storage. I should point out that to the right is north. Over here is our police impound lot, and that typically holds 15 to 30 vehicles in it. It's behind a secure fence, but it is on property that's doubles, obviously, as Public Works. We get a lot of deliveries in there. A lot of people who like to ignore the sign that says no unauthorized entry. Here, this building, and we'll go over this in more detail, is our material storage bin, a couple types of stone, dirt, maybe sandbags. Here is our salt dome. Here we have some raw storage of concrete structures, manholes, catch basins, fire hydrants, pipes. This area over here is where we handle most of our spoils. Anytime we do a dig, and this just came in place in the recent past, we have to isolate that spoil. We have to let it dry out. We have to bring in an engineering consultant to test it to see if it's got contamination. If it's got contamination, it's got to go to one type of landfill. If it doesn't, it can go to another type of landfill. Most of what we bring in there is wet and sloppy. The stormwater management over there is not solid, so we do get some runoff off the edges of our property, both to the west and to the south. This large structure here is our 2.5 million gallon storage tank, which we're not making any recommendations regarding that. This is our south exit. It's a one-way. It's only an exit. And then this is our 250,000 gallon storage tank, which again won't be involved in this project, but we've already awarded a contract to paint some of the interior and do some repairs. So when we started this, actually last year, the purpose of the exterior improvements was to just make better use of the existing space. We challenged our consultant. We hired a combination architect engineering firm to try to solve all of our problems, all of our issues on that footprint. As you'll see, we weren't able to entirely do that. But our goal is to expand our exterior storage areas. We're not asking for new buildings. And to improve our operational efficiencies. it's not unusual, the way things are stored outdoors now, for us to send somebody to go get a hydrant and they have to dig through other stuff, just because we don't have the organized storage facility available. And again, I mentioned runoff. We really do need to make improvements to the way water flows on our property. And instead of flowing off our property, we need to be able to keep it on and have it move out in an efficient way. And replace or repurpose some aging, outdated structures. I'll show you some pictures of those. And then expand and improve the police impound storage. And again, we'll get another visual of that, but they sometimes park 2 or 3 deep. So when they need to retrieve a car, and a lot of the cars that are sitting out there don't start, there's a lot of jockeying and shuffling around and police and sometimes mechanic staff just to get a vehicle out. Yes, sir.
I thought they were moving the police impound to the water treatment plant area.
That's what we're going to be recommending.
Okay.
I'm trying to, describe our current condition.
Got it. Okay.
So yes, currently, it's a very difficult situation for them to try and you've done it.
I know.
Wiggle cars in and out of there.
And then the bikes that they find, is it still by you on Jerveski, or is it over by on Coon Road?
We'll be recommending that they also move. So some of our existing conditions, on the left there, that's our material storage bins. Who thought it was a good idea to do peak and valley roofs when you'd be moving a loader in and out to pull gravel out? Probably didn't think about the fact that those things were gonna get beat up the way they did. So we wanna repurpose that. You'll see some of our storage while we've organized ourselves, getting to things. And if there's 1.5 feet of snow on them, first identifying where they are, digging them out, can be quite a challenge for us. On the left, in the backdrop is our 2.5 million gallon water reservoir, but you'll see we're using the grassy area for storage of anywhere from plows to bins, garbage bins, scrap steel. Some of that's on pavement. On the right, that's kind of the backside of our southern spoil storage area. And you can see there is really no drainage in there. And if you look here, you'll notice water buildup in that storage bin. It's just got nowhere to go. That's another look. That's the front side of that bin that I was showing you that has water here in the back. And we do our very best to segregate the different types of spoil we bring in the fall. The street sweeper will dump their leaves here. We'll have large dumpsters, so those are moving in and out. And over here, you'll see just a part of what it can look like as we start to build up spoil. That's not even bad. I've seen it, twice that size in the type of spoil we're trying to manage. This is the police impound lot, so it is behind a fence. There is a shed there now that was just built a couple of years ago. And there's probably, I think, right there, about 25 cars. Several of which would have to be moved to pull one out from the back. So I apologize for this. That's why I put it in your packet. But again, this is the property on the north end of the property. To the left there, you'll see the salt dome there. Our entrance is over here. I'll get into some more detailed looks of that in just a minute. This is the south half of our property. Here again is the 2.5 million gallon reservoir. This is our spoil management area. This is our south exit only. So that same look from an aerial perspective, impound lot, salt dome, the Pekin Valley material storage bins. You can see how we try to manage spoil. In the summer, we have our covered mower trailers, a couple other trailers, a washout area over here. And those are very active areas, especially spring through fall. What we're proposing is, again, this is the same look that you just saw in an aerial, is to move the police department storage lot out of here, relocate them to the WRC, and we'll share those plans. Put in a shelter here for things like streetlight poles, fire hydrants, some sections of main. We may not put a roof on it, but we'll build it so a roof could be on it. And then there's your salt dome. Over here is where we handle spoil. We also, when we take deliveries of salt, we could get 1,000 tons in a day. That's 50 truckloads. We can't put them all in the dome at one time, so we end up dumping here, and we have to manage this area. What we're proposing is along the edges, is dark lines. We have to put 1 foot thick concrete push walls. If you're gonna be pushing in to pick up whether it's spoil or whether it's salt, you gotta go up against something solid in order to be able to get it in the bucket and pull it out. So, now to start answering your questions about the WRC site. Here is the plot that's in question. To give you some orientation, if you need it, this is where you would drive into the plant from Coon Road. And if you head in one direction, you'd end up in that lot. Right now, or not too long ago, it was fenced on the north and the west side. We had a lot of trees, a lot of scrub. We've since removed those, open it up. But our plan is to accommodate both the police impound needs and some satellite needs for Public Works to help us manage some of our operations better. So I will move on.
So, real quick, so it would be to the south, that would be, south of that red X, that's, the area by like Pleasant Hill and north, just north of that. Is that correct? Like, there's that empty lot
There's a
right
big
there? They were
farm
talking
field
about.
right now. Right, there's been some proposals for some industrial buildings.
So if we're gonna move the police impound lot there, do we have any ideas what security we would have? Because I know there was incidents where people would cut the chain link fence to remove motorcycles and steal them back, I guess, or take them back. Do we have a plan for, since that's going to be, and that's, south of that would be an empty or a vacant lot?
Yeah, and we do have plans for that. And I should have started out by saying, we've been doing this for several months. The project to this point was led by our Superintendent of Operations, Ron Rowan. He worked with Deputy Chief Jungers, with Chief Holmer. We involved all of our supervisory management team, and we asked for volunteers and brought in some line operations employees in Public Works.
Good.
To help us design that and this site. But yes, security was something we paid a lot of attention to.
Thank you.
So this is what that plot of land looks like now. There is no paved area on that roughly 1.5 acre plot. It's all organic, it's dirt, and it's a lot of years of mulch. You remember the EAB years?
Right.
I had more mulch than I could have even imagined. And a lot of that now makes up the driving area. As you can see, anytime it rains of any measure, we could be locked out of there for a couple of weeks. We can't even get into our own lot. By the way, we are whittling away at that pile.
Isn't it almost gone?
It's probably a third of that size right now.
Now, is this the one that you let the public go in and get, or is this a different one?
We pick it up from there and move it out.
Oh,
closer
okay,
to
okay.
Coon Road.
I was thinking, I'm going, no, that one's, that one, the public one is pretty much gone.
That's the source.
Okay.
So here's what we're looking at. Again, up is north. This is that same plot of land that I showed you. And on the north end is where all of the police impound vehicles would be. There are 30 parking spaces here. We had our engineer work out the geometrics, so a wrecker could back in, pull out a vehicle, and go back out. Now, remember, the WRC has a security gate, so someone would have to get in there. But also around the perimeter of the police impound lot is a 10-foot fence. On the south side, it will back up to some more of our bins, but that will also be a concrete wall.
Is that a chain link fence?
Chain link fence, and I think we're talked about barbed wire on top of it. We will have security cameras here, here, and here.
To make it inconvenient, if someone, I mean, can cut, any part landscaping, like to shield it or block?
On the,
Wherever it may be, like,
yeah, well, we talked about that with the police department because the perimeter of this property was really heavily
now,
wooded.
now.
And, but the decision was cut that out so that people aren't easily climbing that and jumping over. So we'll have a wide area mower width strip around it. But on the two portions that aren't WRC property, there will still be brush unless someone comes in and develops.
Right.
But still, we'll have a 10-foot high fence. They'll have security cameras in 3 locations. They'll have security lighting at multiple locations. They'll have the ability to plug into some outlets if they need to get a charger in there. So they don't have to haul something out. They'll be able to bring that, have that power right there. Right in this section here, just as you come in, we originally thought a building, but that was quite expensive. And as we talked through it with chief and deputy chief, they acknowledged that they could probably do what they need to do, including the bikes, with a couple of long storage trailers. I mean, there are people building homes out of these storage trailers now, the freight trailers, or freight boxes. So we're gonna pave that area, and they may or may not be introducing in their budget a plan to bring in some of these storage containers and outfit them with electric and put what they need in there. It's just raw storage space, but they'll also need it. So there will be a mechanical gate with a Prox card and a man gate with a Prox card. Secure site to the satisfaction of the police department. We did not sacrifice on that at all. On the public works side, we're going to also have some areas here to manage some spoil. Very convenient if we're on the west side of town and doing a dig, rather than having to go back to Public Works, or if we're on the east side of town and having to come all the way to WRC. So we've got the space. We'd like to put in enough area to, again, manage our spoil, hold some materials, stone, black dirt perhaps in the summer. This area here will also be covered, and we'll be able to park a loader there because we're always going to need a loader to move spoil and raw materials around. And in the winter, because it'll have a top, it'll have 3 sides and a top, we could park some of our lawn mowing trailers in there. So no enclosed buildings, but sheltered. And then this entire area will be paved. Here is where we'll manage whatever we cut down, or contractors cut down. They can hold their limbs there until they're ready to be ground. And then this area will be where we'll have mulch. The ability to get in there and work on mulch and mulching it or grinding at any time will be an incredible improvement for us. And like I mentioned before, there are times where it's weeks where we can't even get in there. Plus, we'll have concrete walls on the edges. So again, we can push up against those when we need to. We also decided to leave this as turf. It's a fairly large area that we could have paved, but we didn't really have anything to program on it. So we thought we'll make it flat and just turf, because if we have a major windstorm, as we've had here before, and we need places to just stockpile brush, instead of chipping it in the field, you grapple hook it up, you throw it in the dump truck, and you bring it up here. We'll have extra space to just hold that stuff. And we won't really be damaging anything, and then it'll be right next to the area where we would normally process it. Take it right to the chipper or the tub grinder. This area will be open. There's no need for security here because the WRC is surrounded by security fencing. We've got the security coded gate. So that should provide us what we need. Our crews can pick up off a water main here and drop in a hydrant. They can use that for washing down trucks. And you'll notice we have significant stormwater piping all the way through. There's a really thin strip of basins. So all of those bins, they won't collect water at the back like the ones we have now. They'll move water to the front. They'll get collected by those drainage basins, and they'll move through a piping system out this way.
Phil, with a relatively large impound lot, did we consider putting a fire hydrant in there somewhere too?
I mean, it was not something police requested.
No? Okay. You guys know, so, I mean, it was more of a question of, a bunch of cars there, is there a risk, and is it a risk worth putting a fire hydrant in? But if you say no, okay.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Does this constitute a larger impound lot for the police
Yes.
than what they have? Okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's larger in two ways. Footprint, it's larger, and it's going to be more accommodating just because it's easier to get in and out.
But I just counted 30, and that's what you said the current one accommodates, right?
About 25 is the max of what they can really accommodate.
And that's double parking.
That's stacked
like
3 deep,
cars
some of
behind,
them.
right? And they get stacked in there, and then you have to jump, yeah.
And the other question I had is this become the spoil area, period, and you're taking it away from the,
No, we'll
Went to a tow lot.
kind of reconstruct the one at Public Works. It'll be smaller, but we'll have two.
Okay.
So quite frankly, it'll accommodate digs on either side of town.
Okay.
When we're doing a dig, it's
That's okay.
a dig, fill up the truck,
Got it.
send the truck, dump it, get back.
Yeah.
Because as they're digging, they need another truck. So having two is going to be more efficient for us.
okay.
So as you see, this stormwater line is heading to the west. We have to find a way to get it out to the area that engineering, Greg Ulreich, is redoing now along Klein Creek. And Greg was very helpful in helping us find a way to do it. Now, the proposal that I have that's detailed in your packet will get the water via pipe from the chip pile site all the way to the gate, the WRC gate. When it gets there, Greg has pipe left over from the Klein Creek project that can take the water from that point almost all the way where he needs. I think he said he's about 60 feet short. So we'll have to get 60 more feet of that pipe. But because of the way they ended up doing the creek, we had already bought the pipe, and so right now it's just sitting there. So we'll have a great way to use it, and it won't go to waste. So preliminary design, cost estimates include collection and moving it again from the chip pile site to the gate, and then what Greg has left over should help us get it from that point to the newly designed creek and wetland area. So costs. 2 years ago, when we imagined a 3-phase public works improvement project, we were thinking about $3.1 million to do this work. The current estimate, and I put the details in your packet, for the Public Works Center improvements, about $1.5 million. For the WRC parcel is just short of $2 million. So we're looking at about $3.5 million. The only thing that's not in there is the construction oversight. I've got a proposal, it's just short of $50,000. So that would bring the project to still just under $3.6 million. Now, that's a significant number, and it's $500,000 more than we thought a year ago. So we did meet with the village manager's office, finance, police, to talk about engineering, to talk about can this expanded number fit in the capital projects fund coming next year, knowing what Bill's got to pay extra for projects that are escalating in cost, it seems, daily. And we were all comfortable being able to recommend that at this amount, the capital projects fund could handle this project. So what we're looking for tonight is direction to take the next step. So what you've seen is phase one engineering. What we need to do is go final phase two engineering and put together a bid packet and go to bid. So our goal would be to, with your direction, bring you back an engineering architectural services agreement in 2 weeks. Start working, get all that work done, get the bid packet prepared and get it out on the street. So you'll have a couple of opportunities here before we fully commit to this. One is, I'll be bringing an agreement to you in a couple of weeks. And then two is, we'll go to bid and we'll see what it's really gonna cost. So before we make that final call, you'll get two more looks at the project. Our goal is to, as close to May 1st, on the other side of May 1st, start this work, because it's gonna be disruptive and it's gonna take a while.
Who gave us the estimate of 3 million, whatever it was? Where did that come from?
So we did a space optimization study a couple of years ago, and we used an architect called Studio GC. And that was very preliminary work. They're the ones we're using for the interior work that should be starting very soon now. But I went with another firm for this more detailed look at the work, actual phase one engineering work, and that's Kluber and Associates. So the first one was pretty broad brush, 10,000 foot level. And this one is much closer, more detailed, but we still need to do final design, and I'll use Kluber for that as well.
When did you get that bid, or when did you get that price?
That price it's probably a year and a half old.
So do you really believe that what we've seen happen in the last 2 or 3 years, that's not gonna come in at around 5 million?
I'm sorry, I thought you were asking when I got the 3.1 estimate. That was about a year and a half ago. The 3.5, 3.6, I got in December.
In December?
Yes. And that's based on projects they're doing now.
Okay.
The things that would be expensive would be enclosed structures that also required heating, plumbing, electrical, fire protection systems. So we've stayed away from that. And just gone the way where we have shelters, and we don't need any of those amenities, which can get very expensive.
Okay. Any questions? No questions?
It's pretty much what we talked about when you first brought it up a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Still sounds like a lot for doing a lot of outside work, but.
There's no
It is what it
question
is.
that we need it.
Yeah.
We definitely need it. And I commend you for all the work that you've done at Public Works to make it workable for the people that work there, that put in a lot of hours while we're all sleeping, plowing snow and fixing water main breaks and everything. Everything you've done has enhanced the luxury of a job, not only that they get paid good, but we treat them good, and that's very important. One of the things you said is important to me, is it's at the other end of town, which kind of like spread, you don't have to run up and back when you want to do something. My concern is spending $5 or $6 million. That's my concern. So, I mean, if it comes in high, I think we have to look at it, and I hate to say do it in stages, because I don't think the way you've done that, we could do it in stages. So we either do it all at once, or we don't do it at all. And it isn't that I don't want to do it, I just want to make sure that we have the money to do it. We're trying to raise money, it's not easy to raise money. Everybody comes in looking for money, so it's like, it makes it tougher and tougher.
I was listening tonight, yes.
I think we had that conversation tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and it's tough, it is tough.
Now, one of the major costs, trustee McCarthy, is those push walls. Some of them are 8 feet high. They're all 1 foot thick. And especially at Public Works where we have a grade that's kind of dropping off and we need to put our concrete wall there, we may be going down 4, 5, 6 feet. So 8 feet above ground, 1 foot thick, couple hundred feet of it, it's very expensive.
Have you considered working with Uzinga to do that? Somebody that's in our, right on St. Charles Road?
I would hope that anybody who's bidding it would consider them.
I don't mean like to just, I mean, just if we want stuff like that, do they make the concrete embankments or whatever?
These will have to be poured in place.
Poured in, oh, well, that's even better for them.
Yeah.
Because they have all the concrete. They've been very, very good. They were one of the big supporters for the memorial. I mean, they stepped up and did a lot of concrete work for free. You know, we can't forget that. I mean, those are the things that, as a community, that we try to work together. I'm not looking for free, but I would think that if somebody approached them, that to work with the, whoever's gonna be doing the contractual work, we might be able to get a better price. I would hope so. Being it's right in their backyard especially.
Same thing with excavating.
Yeah, and we will advertise publicly and in, trade outlets, so we attract that kind of attention from those people who are local too.
Good. Excellent job as usual.
Thank you.
Good job.
And your people, please let them know.
So go forth and,
Yes.
and bring you an agreement in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I think I may need 3.
3? All right.
No, 2.
So I'll be by myself.
It was taken off. so
Thank you. Nice job.
Thank you.
It was
Well,
taken
It
off.
was taken off as
No
a,
other questions?
that was taken off because it was presentation.
So we don't have to do anything else.
We just need to say, yeah, go forward, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, not approving anything tonight.
Right.
No.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. Board of Officers, we're all done, right? Yep.
Right.
God. Trustee Berger.
Thanks, I only need about 30 minutes to get through mine. Now, today's Martin Luther King Day, and, everybody loves their Martin Luther King quotes, and, I mean, they're all wonderful. I actually, read them whenever I see them posted somewhere, because they're all very inspirational, and it's amazing so much came from one person. But, we honor that today, but, if all of us just tried to do a little bit more for our community and helped others and just stood up for what's right throughout the year, today would be just another day in that sense, other than honoring his birthday. So that's my only message tonight. That's all I have. And with that, I will end my report.
Thank you, Trustee Berger. Trustee Garvey?
I just want to, once again, thank you to Tia for her service to the community. She's just exemplary. Just want to repeat that. And I just wanted to add about Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I have to agree with Trustee Berger. Just to read some of the things the man wrote. I read today the letter from the Birmingham jail, and he wrote it out in longhand, just sitting there. I mean, it's amazing. It's almost biblical. It's so rational. It's just how that came out of one guy, handwritten, is amazing. So if anybody has a chance, it takes you 15 minutes to read it. It's just amazing what the man did and his impact on our society and culture. So that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Trustee Garvey. Trustee Zalick?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, I want to thank the judges and the residents that all decorated their houses, the winners and the ones that didn't win. Thank you for making our community look festive. I too want to bring up Martin Luther King. I looked online and it said, how to celebrate MLK Day, and it just said, learn more about him. So, I just, some things that I thought were pretty phenomenal. At 35, he became the youngest winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. And it didn't become a holiday until the Act of Congress in 1983, and then it was first observed in 86. And like Trustee Berger said, a quote, and this quote it goes a long way, because this country is so divisive. And the quote is, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in time of challenge and controversy." I mean, we don't all get, have the same mindset on things, but let's just be kind to each other and try to get along and agree to disagree. And then finally, as always, keep our first responders and military in your thoughts and prayers, and especially to those officers that witnessed the tragic and grisly event at Community Park. I know officers were on scene and stuff like that, and I know for a fact stays with you, and you dream about it even after your time on the job. The stuff that you see doesn't go away. So thoughts and prayers to them especially. And that concludes my report.
Very well said. Thank you, Trustee Zalick. Trustee Gieser.
Thank you very much. I, too, would like to thank all the winners and all the contestants, all the nominations for the decorating contest. We had over 40 nominees this year. I wish they all could be honored, but they are by being part of the community map, where people can go on a tour. As Trustee Zalick said, everyone who participates is helping to add a little magic to the season and make our community a little brighter. As everyone's talked about, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, one of my favorite quotes is, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" So I think that's something we can all think about and try to do a little better at. Most of us try to do things for others, but if we could do a little extra, that would be great. And the one other quote that I've always liked, because it just, it shows his resilience, and it teaches us to be more resilient. And I think we as community leaders and as residents, we could all use a little more of that, is that we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. So have a vision. You're not going to win every time, but get up and fight another day. So I think that's a great quote, and I think it's something we all can learn from. And then finally, I would like to also reiterate, thank you for all you did for the community, Tia Messino. Thank you very much, and we're sad to see you leave, but we wish you nothing but the best in your next adventures. Thank you. That's my report.
And be careful during the war that we've declared.
Thank you, Trustee Gieser. Trustee McCarthy.
We talk about Martin Luther King, and I think the easy, and we've all said it kind of the same thing, but saying it differently, is just find time to be better to each other. If we all did that, the world would be a better place, and I think it would send the correct message. Just be better to each other. And again, like everybody said, congratulations to the winners, and thank you to the judges of the decorating contest. And we passed a raffle permit tonight. That's the bags tournament. Our bags tournament starts on the 15th of February, so it's the 15th, the 20th, the 22nd, the 26th, the 27th, the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, the 8th, the 13th, and the finals are the 15th. We're hoping that it becomes a record year again this year. We're happy with anything. We're happy that this has become an event that people come out to get together, as much as it's not just about raising money. It's groups will come and play together. Groups of friends or people will meet new people. I've got a number of people who turn around and say, "Hey, I need a partner," and we end up finding one. So it's become a very cool community event, and one of the things I'm most proud of about it. But more than anything, we've got some major sponsors that without it, we can't get anywhere. Flood Brothers, of course, Chrissy's, Mayor Savarino, New Traditions, Funeral Services, And this year Squeegee Brothers took over for the T-shirts and the banner because John actually sold R&M.
I thought he sold Squeegee Brothers.
Well, the new owner is
very
doing it.
good.
So it's exciting to do that. I mean, we've even got one of our friends and local attorney, Bob McNeese, sending a check to be a sponsor also. So being able to build off of that gives us the ability to find different ways to grow it, whether it be different raffle prizes or doing some other stuff. We got to replace the bags, which, believe it or not, are god-awful expensive. I got a bill for that, $275 for, what is that, 16 bags. It's crazy, but, because everybody's into it now, so now it becomes a thing. But we've increased the, thanks to the mayor, we've increased the winners portion on finals night, so we're hoping that draws some more people. And then the most exciting part of it is then we get to look around locally for other charities that need a helping hand, that don't necessarily get the pub that the bigger ones do. Last year, we raised just under $32,000. 17 of it went to Relay for Life. The balance of all proceeds went to a number of local charities that touch Carroll Stream in some way, shape, or form. So that's pretty exciting that we're able to do that. And so if you have a chance, you can go onto Facebook, and if you look for Bags for Life, we'll be on there, and you can sign up. You can email me at my personal email, which is mccarth1@aol.com, or you can send me a note on my village one, and I'll just reply from a different one. But if you look around, there's a million ways to get a hold of us. Jeff's on the committee. John's always helping. Pretty much anybody up here, if you ask them, they'll steer you where you need to sign up. You can stop into Chrissy's. They'll help you. So if you have a chance and if you've got a time, you only play one of these nights I listed. It's a double elimination tournament each night, and then the top two winners of every night go to finals night. So it's just a great way to have a little fun and find a way to help people a little bit. So I hope everybody can make it out, and for those who are, I very much appreciate it, and we all say thank you.
Is there a date for the kids yet?
Yes, it's
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
February, the last Sunday of February and the first Saturday of March, I believe.
Okay, and then,
I have it, but I don't have it.
that's fine. And then, what about the employees? Because that would be.
The employees is on March 2nd.
Good.
It's a Thursday.
I'll make available. 'cause
And
I'm gonna-
it's very cool. Again, this is, I believe, the 5th year in a row that we've done an actual night for, that staff has chosen to come out and get involved. So it's an honor that they do, and it really makes me feel good that they even come out and support it. And with that, I'll end my report.
Thank you for all that you do to raise money for the charities in town and the Relay for Life. We can't tell you how much we appreciate that. Tia, this is the last time. You're breaking my heart, you know that. So,
Well, we'll see in the ensuing war what side Scott decides to take. I will say I think Carroll Stream might have the edge because I don't think West Chicago has offered to let him throw pumpkins yet. And he does love that every year with y'all. I just wanted to say, Carroll Stream Public Works was my first full-time job. And I have been honored to be a part of this community for almost 9 years. And I have loved working here with everyone. Thank you for giving me so many opportunities to grow and learn, letting me take on new challenges, and trusting me to run with some of my quirkier inspirations. You have an incredible team of people here, and the many successes that you have attributed to me would not be possible without the community, without the volunteers and the staff and your support and your trust in the team for all of this. I have learned so much, and I am so grateful to have been here for so long and to have been a member of the Carroll Stream family.
Then maybe you shouldn't leave.
But seriously, thank you all. I have really appreciated this, and I am grateful.
You'll always be part of our family. Thank you for all you've done. Julia?
Follow that.
Mr. Mayor. Well, she got me all choked up. That was the first thing I was going to do, say thank you to you. I'm going to really miss you. I have a rare and valuable pen for you to take with you to your new job, so you won't forget me. My name is on there. So thank you for everything. I'll miss having you next to me in these meetings. And also in honor of MLK Day, I appreciated hearing everybody's favorite quotes. My favorite one is one that I saw on the Carroll Stream Police Department Facebook page today, which is, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." So it speaks to everything that everyone else is saying, that we all need to get along, be kind, and just realize we're all in the same human race together, and we should treat each other kindly. Also, a reminder that the Rotary Club Coat Drive is still going on. The last day to donate gently used or new coats is January 26th. I know Trustee Zalik, you've mentioned that in the past. If anybody's like me and my family, I went through all our closets, and we have so many winter coats that either have never been worn or very rarely get worn. So it just, you know what, somebody can use it. So if anybody has extra coats at home, you still have another week or so to donate. And they have drop-off locations all over Carroll Stream, including right here in the village lobby. Also, just want to give an election update. I'm certifying the ballot tonight. I'm signing off on it. It will be delivered to DuPage County tomorrow, and we will be posting the final ballot in the order in which the candidates will be shown on the ballot. Early voting, believe it or not, starts in about a month, February 23rd. Early voting starts at DuPage County Fairgrounds. Also, that's the day that mail-in ballots will be going out to people who requested that. So make a plan to vote. And also coming up in April, I know it's a little bit ways out, but I wanted to get people to put on their calendar. We are having a trail cleanup in honor of Earth Day. It's going to be, the Friends of the Great Western Trails are coordinating it, and we were asked to coordinate a section of the Great Western Trail that is in Carroll Stream. So my husband Greg and I are coordinating Team Schwarzy for the trail cleanup Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 11 a.m. If anybody is interested in joining us, we will provide gloves, bags, we'll make it a fun time. We'll be meeting up near the Barn Owl Garden Center, right at the corner of Gary Avenue in St. Charles, and we will have all the bags, and we'll spend a couple hours just going up through that section of Carroll Stream Great Western Trail and cleaning it up. So just doing our part in honor of Earth Day. If anybody's interested, let me know. I also have attached here something from Don Kirschenberg of the Great Western Trails. It's a Dick Pond Athletics coupon for $10 off a pair of shoes. So you get that also if you volunteer. So anybody who's interested, let me know. I have a copy for you. And on that note, speaking of Dick Pond Athletic in Carroll Stream, I'd like to encourage everyone, please shop and dine in Carroll Stream. That's all I have.
Very nice, thank you. Mr. Rhodes, our village attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As everyone else has said, I really want to congratulate Tia on her new job. And I do want to publicly thank you for the professional assistance that you provided me during the time that I was here and you were here in Carroll Stream. You did a wonderful job. You made my life much easier with your assistance, and I really do truly wish you all the best. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Mr. Muller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Earlier in the meeting, a discussion came up regarding the number of video gaming terminals, and when we first implemented that, that was back, I looked on the state website, looks like it was back in 2013, and at that time, we had 9 facilities that had 40 video gaming terminals, and the revenues for that were about $30,000. Today, we have 21 facilities with 120 video gaming terminals, and over the course of those 9 or 10 years, the revenue that's been generated to the village is about $2.2 million.
Very good.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I have.
That's it?
Yep.
If I didn't ask that question, you wouldn't have had a report?
No. Thank you for asking, though.
Very good, thank you. You notice he got a little bump on his head? I got the same thing. I looked at him and said.
We didn't bump each other.
No, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, it's like just, this has been a very bad week, that's all I could say. Two people from Carroll Stream passed away. They were both laid out at Salerno's. I went to visit one in the family, and they said his neighbor from across the street passed away, and I ended up in that one, and they were more excited to see me than the family that I went to spend time with. But both of them, very good long-term residents there, wonderful people, just absolutely amazing. I can't tell you, I am so tired of going to funerals and wakes that I don't even know what to say. I apologize if I carried on tonight. I've been up all night. The paramedics took my wife into the hospital at 5 o'clock this morning. Not good. She's there. My son is with her now. I called and talked to Bob. He said it would be a short meeting. Bob didn't know what he was talking about. No, Bob says I had to be here tonight because I really kind of felt we were going to have a problem. Mary called and said she wasn't coming. She has a sickness in her family, so I had to be here tonight. But I didn't even shave this morning because I went out with the paramedics at 5 o'clock. So I apologize if I said anything to offend anybody. I'll always give and do what I could for this village the best that I could. That's all I could do. And I would hope that all of us feel the same way. We don't always agree with each other, but we always come to this final conclusion of what's good for the people that live in the community. And that's really what the goal is. I want to thank all the people that decorated for Christmas, the winners and the losers. Public Works, great presentation tonight. Going back on something that John Zalick said, I commend our police department for what happened at Community Park. That cannot be easy. I mean, I've been on accidents where just by accident, I had seen them and got out to help. And you have to be trained for that because the average person can't take what they see. So if those police officers that were there, it's your call as usual, let us know what you need for them, okay? Please. Election, we're going into election. This should be fun. This is good. So looking forward to it. Everybody's happy and it's a good thing. With that, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You have to call a roll?
I don't know, do I
Yeah,
turn
call a
votes?
roll. What the heck?
Unanimous? All right,
don't
trustee
call the roll.
Berger,
Aye.
trustee Garvey,
Aye.
trustee Zalick,
Aye.
trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.
Probably fall again, or?